Hi everybody, I'm Dave Thomas. Welcome to the first edition of Principles of Learning. Every month HHTV will highlight each of our primary principals representing the 5 elementary and the 2 secondary schools in the Hatboro-Horsham School District. Our first guest is Kayrie Hill. She's the principal of Crooked Billet Elementary School in Hatboro. Welcome to Principles of Learning, Kayrie.
Thank you for having me. It's
Absolutely.
a pleasure to be here.
Now, one of the first things is, you're a newer principal. A lot of people now, you're in your second year.
Yes.
What do you enjoy about being principal of Crooked Billet? What is it about that school?
I think one of the greatest joys of being the principal of Crooked Billet is the historical perspective. Yeah. Crooked Billet is one of 2 schools in the entire country that's founded on an American Revolutionary War site. So that's a distinction all its own. And for our kids to be able to have that, as a part of their personal world and their personal history is awesome. Also, it's also situated in the coolest place ever in Hatboro, PA. It's really connected for me because I did serve in the Air Force in this area, so coming back was really great for me.
Okay, and when we talk about a school, of course, it's not just the building, it's the people inside.
Absolutely.
And the people in that community around that building. What is it that you have been able to really kind of be exposed to or kind of absorb about being principal at school and leading it over the last year and a half that it really kind of stays with you?
One of the things that the media and other sources tend to say is that parental involvement has decreased. Well, that is totally to the contrary at Crooked Billet. We may not have parents every single day coming through the doors of our school. However, our parents are so involved and so connected to teaching and learning, to our extracurricular activities, to every facet of what we do at Crooked Billet. And that's the thing that stands out to me. In addition to having their wonderful kids with us on a daily basis, I love seeing kids who are coming to school who are excited to be there. Kids are running off the bus with high fives and hugs and just enjoying the fact that this is a cool learning environment for them to be in. And so that happy marriage between parents and school and the teachers makes the world a great place over in Hatboro.
So you're at a good place.
Oh, I'm at a happy place right now. I'm
Absolutely.
Really excited.
Very cool. The other thing too, you talked a little bit about the history
Yes.
of Crooked Billet. But, you have a history too. And so, you look back, what is some of your background that got you here that you bring with you to, your individual take as the leader of that school? You bring some of that with you, your flavor, so to say. What is your history? What's your background?
Well, I'm originally from Philadelphia. I was a principal in the school district of Philadelphia for 5 years prior to coming to Hatboro-Horsham. Got a chance there to learn the urban side of administration. However, kids are kids no matter where you go. You enjoy the same experiences on different levels. I also come to the table as a 6-year veteran of the United States Air Force Reserve. So you couple those 2 experiences of my life and you bring it into a fun realm as an administrator of a building. Being a teacher at heart always, regardless of being a principal, a true principal is always a teacher.
Right.
And so I enjoy just the experiences of being in classrooms. And I did that in Philly. At any point in time, I would want to go run and teach a class or have a small group of kids. Just having the opportunity to spend and share with them that heart-to-heart connection with kids and wanting to see them grow and see them learn and achieve, is really the mantra where I stand. Coming to Hatboro-Horsham was a transition for me. I went from a school building of having 870 to a building with less than 300. So it was like a mini culture shock for me.
Yeah.
However, I wouldn't trade.
Now, that Air Force experience, are you running cadence around the playground at all? Or,
No.
I like being a little something. No. You're not having those kids run cadence out there?
No. No.
Now, you were a student back in the day.
And I was.
Yeah, I know we have a picture of that too, and we're going
goodness.
to show you off a little bit.
Oh my goodness.
But when little Kayrie Hill is sitting out there at elementary school, what exactly were you like as a student, and what were some of the things that you liked about elementary school, didn't like about elementary school, and how do you work that into your tenure as a principal?
Well, I was always a child that's excelled academically in school. I did extremely well all the way through school. Elementary school was great for me. However, I was that kid in the classroom who I was always finished first.
Oh, yeah?
And I always had to pick with somebody else who wasn't finished.
Good for
So
you.
I see that a lot of times as I visit my classrooms at Crooked Billet. So I know how to respond and to react to those kids kids who are fast finishers, but also keeping them occupied so that they're not disturbing other people. I was active in elementary school. I was on the choir. I was in the band.
Okay.
I did, I wasn't artsy, but I could do the art projects.
Right.
I was always in some type of performance, some kind of speaking engagement of some sort. So I was very active, and that transcended all the way through college. So I loved school. I absolutely adored school. I was one of those kids, I was up early in the morning because I wanted to get to school. And I was usually one of the last kids to go home because I was always involved in some type of activity that kept me in the building.
Now, do you think as a management style, you were that A-type personality in the classroom, but now, not all kids are there.
Right. So
do you think that it helps you motivate them to be like, you can actually identify with the student to say, listen, I know you're not like I was. How do you do that as a principal, an effective leader? How do you work all that?
You have to understand always that there are children of various ability levels. And you have children that come to our school with various concerns and matters that are pressing them.
Yeah.
However, it's all about doing the best that you can and being the best you that you can be. So, I take the opportunity to spend and talk with kids individually so that I know their story and so that I can say to them when I know that they're not on their best game that day, hey, I know it was a tough day, but you know what, you can get it better tomorrow. But also having a personal connection with them.
Sure.
And I think my teachers do an awesome job with that because they can tell you the various situations of their kids.
Yeah.
And that lets us know that one of the essential pieces of being an effective educator is knowing the children that you're serving.
Absolutely.
And so if you have that one-to-one connection and that family support and family connection, it helps to make the children's time and their stay at school much better. But also you can connect to them and say, hey, I wasn't the best at this. Really, I was the worst at art, but I gave a good effort. And so every now and then you can pull some of those things from your past and remember to kind of hook your kids in.
So and those connections as a classroom teacher are invaluable.
They are.
Because they get you and they're on board with you and they say, you know what, he understands me, and then they give you all that more effort and all that more just believability in you as an educator.
It goes on, it's
full
just
circle.
Absolutely. Recently, my kids now who I taught when they were in 8th grade are now college grads. And a few weeks ago, I ran into one of my 7th graders that I taught, and she said, I was, maiden name was King at the time.
Yeah, okay.
Said, Miss King, I remember this, that, and the other thing that you said to me, and you told me that I could do it. And look, I graduated, and I'm going to be a teacher just like you were.
No.
And so that just, it brings tears to your eyes. It encourages you. It makes you still want to get up every morning and come to this job.
That's why we're here.
Absolutely.
Now, with that in mind, and those intangible things are so important, but the tangible stuff matters too.
Absolutely.
Academic initiatives.
Right.
What are some of the things right now that you and your administration, as well as your teachers, are bringing to that table at Crooked Billet?
One of the things, that is taking place in all of our schools now, we're really focusing on standardized assessments.
Yes,
However, we're not making that a major priority. Yes, that's something that we're focusing on. However, we believe that authentic instruction and good instruction is the best test prep.
Sometimes you got to go old school.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's the best test prep for a kid. However, one of the things that we try to do as well is focus on the literacy and the math instruction over at Crooked Billet. We're trying to take it to another level, taking it beyond the textbook, integrating our technology into everything that we do. Every one of the classrooms has a smart board and other facets of technology in our rooms. Our 5th graders this year in a few weeks will be introduced to iPads in their classroom. Which is a grant that we earned through the Hatboro-Horsham Educational Foundation. So we have those pieces in place. We have a lot of things going, but our key thing is focusing on the effective teaching in the classrooms. One of the other things that I'm doing is this year, we introduced what we call the Crooked Billet Dream Team.
Okay.
And what that is taking some schools do student councils.
Yes, sir.
We didn't want to do student councils because that only focuses on maybe 5 or 10 kids throughout a whole year. So what we're doing is through our Dream Team, we have 3 service projects that take place every school year.
Okay.
And you have 2 kids from each classroom who are spearheading and implementing these activities. For example, our first initiative right now is in progress, where we're providing care packages to soldiers overseas. So the children are planning the process with little adult supervision. So that academic piece and that leadership piece is huge. And this is
a community service.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So they're getting that mindset to know that it's not just about me. It's important that I get what I need.
Right.
However, but I also want to be a help to someone else. So through this project, they're doing literacy skills. They're writing letters. They're designing cards and pieces for the soldiers. They're researching. So there's a lot of facets into this one project. So you're talking about not just having 5 kids in a student council, but you're talking about 20 to 25 kids
Absolutely.
every cycle.
And how great is it to be able to say, once they get to 5th grade and beyond, they get to our middle level and say, in 5th grade, or by 5th grade, I was able to lead and organize and implement this.
Absolutely.
You know, wow, I mean, you could say that about any kid in any school. That's impressive, but you know, there it is, part of your planning.
We're using the habits, the 7 habits
Sure.
of happy kids, and we're using some of their resources to help kids work through this process of the implementation stages. What do I need to do in order to make my project go forward? How do I advertise it? Some of our kids are going to be even calling their parents
I'm sure.
on the school messenger
I'm sure.
to announce the event. So we're looking
that's cool.
forward to that. So the kids, I think that was probably the most exciting thing. Who gets to call mom and dad on the
there
phone?
you know.
So it's going to be a fun time.
Very cool. You know, you guys are known for Crooked Billet Day, and,
Yes.
and you know that's one of the things that every year we look forward
There's
to.
no
in the
other
spring.
day in Hatboro Horsham School District for
isn't.
Crooked Billet Day.
Now, but there's some fundraising going on
Yes.
too, and one of the things that you want to also roll out at Crooked Billet. Can you explain that?
Sure. Right now, actually just this past Friday on Veterans Day, we engaged in our 2nd annual Race for Education. And it's a walkathon where families and students raise money to benefit our educational program at Crooked Billet. Last school year, we raised $20,000, which was spearheaded by our Home and School Association. So this year, we're hoping to match it or even exceed it. The proceeds of that event went to purchasing classroom items, sponsoring all of our 5th grade activities, some playground equipment, some books and materials. So this one project that families, you know, even from California or other places can send in, you know, $5 or $10 will certainly benefit the work we're doing at Crooked Billet. So that's our major fundraiser initiative that our home and school is doing, and it's been a great success. But not only was it just fundraising, you know, Dave, the kids were walking, and
well,
this year
there you go.
parents wanted to walk with them because we're promoting a healthy
There's that
initiative.
connection though too, right?
Yeah, we're doing a healthy initiative where we're talking about healthy eating, healthy choices, healthy exercise. So the parents wanted to walk this year, so it was cool just to see parents walking hand in hand with their kids.
And anytime you can get a parent and a student connected together around a school environment, we're doing our jobs.
It was awesome.
It's all coming together.
It was awesome.
Very good. And of course, Crooked Billet Day we talk about every spring, but how nice is it to be able to talk about all the other things too? Everybody knows Crooked Billet Day. It's that special one. It's kind of the crown jewel of, of the crown, but at the same time, now we know so much else about Crooked Billet and you as an administrator.
Well, one of the things is we want parents to understand there's a lot of great stuff happening inside our buildings.
Right.
And this week they get a chance to see it because it's American Education Week. Sure. So, you know, on Tuesday and Thursday, parents are visiting our building actually in classrooms, sitting at their children's desks, learning some of the things that their kids are doing. We wanted to also disclaim the fact that it's not business as usual in school. You know, that our kids are really doing some good stuff. They're doing things out of the box. From the difference of when you and I went to school.
Absolutely, and you have to.
And we have to do things differently because this world is changing.
Right.
And we want to prepare our kids to be global citizens. So sometimes you have to change the norm to make it happen. So this week our kids are doing a video conference.
Right.
They have partners that they're dealing this year in cultures with France. They're dealing with some friends in France. So
global connection.
Absolutely. Yeah. So when we were in school, we might have had a pen pal across the district.
Yeah,
but now
wait like 5 months to get a letter back.
Absolutely. Now our kids are face to face through Skype and through video conferencing equipment, are talking with friends. Later this year, we're doing Alex's Lemonade Stand. Not only are we doing the event, but we're doing the lead-up activities, and we're hoping to conference with Alex's parents.
But how nice is it that you have all that new stuff, all that technology, that instant global citizen stuff, but at the same time you have teachers right there at the board, right there with notes, committing that stuff, and it's all mixing together. You know, you have that old school technique of, you know, this is how we teach and this is how you learn, so parents are good with that, but at the same time you're bringing all that mix into it. one big good buffet going on there.
One thing I found out, and I've learned it even more and more every day as I hit a classroom, our teachers put in countless hours, you know, in the building, outside of their building, to prepare every day for their kids. They're doing some really innovative and some good stuff. One of the initiatives that even in our second grade, they're doing data notebooks. This is an initiative that teachers are doing where kids take ownership of their own learning, where they're tracking and graphing.
Second grade.
Second grade, where they're tracking and graphing their progress over time, and kids are having those conversations with their classmates and with their teachers of how do I get to the next point? And those data notebooks are going home and being shared with parents.
Absolutely.
So the parents are able to say, well, you know what, I didn't do this in school, but I see the benefit of what's happening now.
But that kid then too, they get the 5th grade, they get the 6th grade, if they hold on to the notebooks.
Oh, yeah.
Then all of a sudden they say, look what I did in 2nd grade.
Absolutely, look how far I've come.
Absolutely, and it's like a litmus test. It's like, I have this now, I did this then. Well, now when we revisit it later on in the scholastic process, that academic process, you did that in 2nd grade. Refresh.
Absolutely. And you're seeing kids when they achieve their goals, they're awesome, they're excited, you know, they're running around high-fiving, they want to come show you. And one of the things that I've tried to do at Crooked Billet is to have every teacher, every staff member make personal connections with kids. So that even if that child is not in your classroom, I make a purpose of trying to introduce that student to another teacher so that child has another person that they can connect to.
Absolutely.
And from that, you see kids, once they've mastered the task and achieved their goals, wanting to say, Mr. Thomas, look what I did. You know, check this out, or can you sign it? And you see that glow in their faces. And so that when that child possibly may land in their classroom, they already have a relationship.
And we give them praise, you know, give those kids praise, because we always forget at the high school level how important it is to praise those kids, because, you know, when they get praised, they're ready, they're eager to jump back on it again. And you start that, and I'm going to give praise to you too, because it sounds like you're doing a great job.
Thank you so much. We're working hard.
Absolute pleasure, Kay.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. And that is going to do it for our first edition of Principles of Learning. But we'll ask you to stay with us here on HHTV. Later this month, we will have Steve Glaze. He's the principal over at Hollowell Elementary School. He'll be our next guest on Principles of Learning. And for all of us here at HHTV, I'm Dave Thomas. Thanks as always for watching.